Charlie Kirk spoke openly about his belief that the Chinese Communist Party is a threat to the United States. Our next guest joins us to share her thoughts on Charlie's legacy of exposing the CCP's influence on Americans. Let's welcome Lily Tong Williams, a survivor of Mao's Cultural Revolution and a New Hampshire congressional candidate. Lily, thank you so much for joining us.
Well, thank you for having me.
Now, before we begin, here's a clip of Charlie expressing his views of the Chinese Communist Party.
We already know that the Chinese Communist Party is a great threat to us, but me even saying that is important. Let's ask the very simple question: what is China? Is China our friend? Are they a rival, like Joe Biden called them? Are they an adversary? I think they're an enemy of the United States of America. I've said it once and I'll say it again. They have internationalist ambitions. They want to expand their territory.
Now, Lily, you've been outspoken about the history of communism and the dangers of communism. So do you agree with Charlie that the Chinese Communist Party is an enemy of the U.S.?
It is. I have survived Mao's Cultural Revolution. I lived under CCP for 24 years of my life in People's Republic of China. I have seen with my own eyes that the evil ideology, they tactic they use to control and to enslave their own Chinese citizens. And especially now with Xi Jinping's leadership, his China dream is to become #1 dominant power in the global world and taking over the United States. But their ideology, one-party dictatorship where Chinese people cannot even vote, cannot have free speech, cannot have religion or freedom, that's not compatible with freedom-loving Western values, especially American values. I have been exposed to them for past 10 years to say, hey, we don't want them here. We need to be aware their infiltration, their tactics, and they have international ambitions, and they're expanding into our classrooms, our media, our business, and Wall Street. And now they are in New Hampshire, in my backyard in Nashua. They bought 3 real estate properties, and I have been sound alarm since a few months ago.
Now, you talk about the tactics that the Chinese Communist Party has used in China and how it's coming into America. Charlie also pointed out a number of tactics the CCP has used to gain power over the United States, such as hacking our cyber grid and buying up our farmland. And he says these moves are a threat to our freedom. So as someone who lived through the Cultural Revolution, what advice would you give to Americans who maybe don't see these actions as threats to our lives here in America?
Well, they call that soft power invasion. They don't have to fire one shot. If they can just infiltrate into the United States and through the means that I described in our schools, in our media, in our government, in our Wall Street and business relationships, they are using our open, free society and to come here to slowly take over. I've been warning people, they're going to eat our lunch someday. We need to be worried about their power threat to the United States national security, indoctrinate our children, turn them into little Marxists, and they think, oh, China is wonderful. And then look what happened after Charlie Kirk's murder. You will have a radicalized youth, like a red guards in this country, celebrating Charlie's assassination, and I think it's justified to kill your political opponent because of his views. And Charlie was engaging on college campuses. You don't have to agree with him. You could ask a question, you could debate, you could walk away, but by take his life, a father of 2, a loving husband, and also a role model for millions of American youth who want to know more about his political point of views. Now he's gone. So I'm really worried and concerning for our country. We need to stop the school teachings that is very biased, divisive media, and radical leftists, including politicians who demonize their opponents. If they call MAGA American freedom-loving people constantly Hitler, fascists, it's like a Mao did, constantly call
now, Lily, I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I want to get to this next question before we have to leave. And this is very good advice that you're giving to Americans. But, you know, the leader, Xi Jinping, the Chinese regime leader, he recently hosted some officials at a celebration that he had for the anniversary of World War II. And let's listen to Charlie's thoughts on that parade that they had.
They do military parades quite well. They're able to mobilize everything without any of the media clamoring or yammering. And it was impressive. From the nuclear arsenal to their investments in the military, the Chinese Communist Party wanted to put on full display for the rest of the world. And especially, it really was all designed for an audience of one. The military parade was really designed for one person. And that person, of course, is President Donald Trump.
Now, Charlie says this was a big show for the world to see, especially President Trump. Just briefly tell me, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, since I come to the United States, Donald Trump was the president who, 2016, that stand up against China. I think it is a power struggle that, as I said, China wants to dominate United States as #1 global power, and he wanted to put the propaganda show that lots of people don't know the truth about China. So I would love to advise President Trump always speak to Chinese people directly, who can rise up with free internet access to oversee this largest dictatorship government, not elected by people, but they are using our free society now. They are here in our country,
right.
So we need to really get rid of them and get rid of those CCP people from the United States.
Right. Thank you so much, Lily Tong Williams, a survivor of Mao's Cultural Revolution. We thank you for sharing your thoughts with us.
Thank you.